One day we were planning to put a crane near the federal building, World Trade 6. And we were looking at the drawings and we said, well, we got a column here, a column there, we can do it. And we went underneath and we looked at the structural stability of this structure now. And we were 4 engineers and we all went and we said, oh yeah, the structure looks good. And somebody noticed and said, listen, this column goes into water. What do we know what's below? I mean, there's 6 feet of water. What do we know what's below? And we said, well, we don't know. He says, you want to take the chance? We said, not really. And then we start pumping the water, and guess what? That column was fractured right within the water. And we were placing structure for a 700-ton crane. That crane would have toppled right into the trade center. So I said, sometimes you've got to have luck with you, because otherwise it doesn't really, the engineering is not enough, okay? So, remediate immediate life safety conditions. We continue to do that. Continue the excavation with a slurry wall support. And return control of the surrounding buildings to their owners. There's only one building that we are still holding, and that is 90 West, because of some environmental issues. Sewer broke within the building, and it needs to be decontaminated. But that was really the only building that we are holding as part of the operation, with the exception, of course, of the site itself, okay? And all the other buildings have been returned to their owners, who are undertaking the remediation work themselves. Restore the surrounding buildings. You would be amazed how much work has been done on the surrounding buildings. It almost looks now like a regular construction site. I mean, within the wall, you see a lot of equipment, a lot of things happening. You see new ramps that we've installed, and trucks go up and down all day. But you see that you don't really see that this is a collapse site. I said, well, this looks like a normal site now. So people are amazed when they come there. And as I said, in about, I'd say another few months, we're going to be out of there. But believe me, this operation will never, never, never be forgotten. Not only by, obviously, everybody, but especially for those of us that had the opportunity to participate. Thank you.
Thank you. We'd like to open up the floor for questions, so if you have any, raise your hand and we'll give you the mic. Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Manny, there was a lot of talk about the discontinuity in the slurry walls. The walls being constructed in, I think, 22-foot long segments.
Right.
And the issues associated with stabilising one segment at a time. Can you talk to that? What problems did you face?
Andrew, we obviously have a major concern about the slurry wall. And not only are we stabilizing one segment at a time, so each segment has ties that is supported, okay? But we are monitoring, till today, we are monitoring the movements of all the segments. Because you never know, again, the condition, the actual existing condition of the wall itself. And it's very difficult to say the condition. I mean, it's a 3-foot sort of irregular wall. And it looks good, and then you dig back below, and then you get below, and then it doesn't look so good. So, as I mentioned, we are placing a great deal more ties than what normally one would do, simply because it's sort of a belts and suspenders approach. And I'd rather do that than lose a piece of slurry wall. The slurry wall itself it's like a puzzle, and all the pieces sort of fit together. And as the pressure from the exterior, it pushes it inward, it sort of locks the panels. But again, because of the damage, perhaps panels may not lock. So therefore, we just support individual panels by ties.
Did you have to pump water from the basement level? Was there much water ingress into the basement?
There was some water, but not very much. Okay, not very much. Yes, there's the water level on the outside is probably 10 feet below street level. Okay, so therefore you have 60 feet of water ahead, right? Now, very quickly, in the first 2 weeks or so, we started digging wells all around the site. And at about 10 or 15 feet intervals, and we are pumping day and night water all around the perimeter, and we are pumping it out to the river so that we can minimize the waterhead, because that obviously, as you can understand, gives you the greatest hydrostatic pressure. But still, there is some water, obviously. And besides the fact that tons and tons of water that was dumped by the fire trucks to put out that fire that was never really, we were never able to extinguish the fire. That fire burned as high as 2,000 degrees for about 2 months until it burnt itself out by itself.
Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.